Hey guys, welcome back to another Let's Play video of mine. As you can see on the screen, in the title, and even in the description, we are playing, once again, Sounds of Her Love. Just a quick reminder, guys, before we do hop into the game, that up until the end of May, we are trying to raise money for St. Jude as part of their St. Jude Play Live event. So I know with this whole coronavirus going on and people being laid off, some people out there are tight for money. Trust me, I understand. So if you can't donate, trust me, completely understand. But if anyone out there has any money they can donate to St. Jude, there will be a donation link below in the description. Click on that, it'll send you to the donation page, and please donate what you can as we try and help out a wonderful cause, a wonderful organization, a wonderful hospital, as they try and help these kids and their families as their children battle through all sorts of illnesses and diseases and cancers. And obviously they're also now helping out with the most recent crisis with the coronavirus. So guys, please, if you have any money you can donate to St. Jude. There will be a donation link in all my videos up until the end of May. Please donate what you can when you have the money. It'd be very greatly appreciated, and it's all, like I said, going to a wonderful cause. But with that being said, let's dive into some more Sounds of Her Love and see how far we get. Cool air, the sound of cars, and the presence of the local populace going about their daily lives, surrounds me. Walking home from school has always been like this. Just time to think whilst I rush back home. While I rush to get back so I can get about my own life. Makes me wonder whether things would be different if Siri had come to school today. Probably would. We did agree to walk to school together, but neither of us said anything about walking home together. I'm not sure why we haven't. Being able to support Siri is something I want to do. After what her teacher had told me, I really don't think she's ill. Surely her father would have informed the school. They never took keen on pupils missing lessons. I've had the experience of being berated for before. Putting my hand in my pocket, my fingers naturally rest around my phone. As I realized I had it with me, I decided on giving Siri a call, though I'd rather wait until I'm home before doing so. Something inside me knows the things we discuss won't be the same as Something inside me knows the things we'll discuss won't be the same as the trivial things we both embraced before. Step by step, I traced back my usual path down my street down my street to and from school, quickly arriving home and making my way indoors. Instead of the usual sounds of my father's boasting and my mother's retorts, I found my sister sitting down and playing on her phone. It's something she would usually do. Why is she doing it downstairs and not in her room? I'm unsure. Oh, you're back. Yeah, I am. Did you get out early or something? No, I just walk faster than... I'm just a faster walker than you. She always has a way to be cheeky. Where's Mom and Dad? Oh, they went out. They said about bringing something back for dinner. Alright. I take off my shoes in the hall while I get the idea... I take my shoes in... I take off my shoes in the hall when I get the idea to talk about Siri with my sister. She might be able to give me some girl's perspective on it. At least, I hope. Hey sis, is there any reason why a girl might not come to school despite not being ill? My sister turns her head and smirks at me, almost to mock me for knowingly asking something that would make me indebted to her. Oh, did a girl you like take the day off? Very funny. Are you going to give me a serious answer? After raising my voice, my sister responds by giving me a solemn expression. I didn't mean to get loud, but right now I have more things on my mind than her jokes. Well, I wouldn't go if I didn't feel like it. That is, if I was depressed. Thank you. Sorry for shouting. By getting angry, I created a sense of awkwardness between us. Doing so resulted in getting an answer from her anyway, one which isn't unreasonable given Siri's situation. All I can do now is hope she's willing to answer my call. It's okay. Resuming with whatever she was doing, my sister takes a hold of her phone, leaving me to part ways with her to head upstairs. Before me in a room all too common and always all too messy. Looking around, I realize this will be the stage upon which I begin my act to be there for Siri, a girl who has grown on me much more over the course of a few... dear God. A girl who has grown on me so much more over the course of a mere 7 days. The sounds of cars resonate through the open window, causing me to look outside and stare back at the melancholic expression. Is that really what I look like? The image is beyond me as I continue to listen to the melodic rhythm of people within the city going about their lives. Here I am, hesitating to call someone who means so much to me, someone who changed me. I was under the assumption that after meeting Siri, I was able to bring her out of her shell. She told me otherwise, but I find myself thinking about how much she has done for me. How much we have been there for each other, neither of us even realizing it. The pounding of my heart acts as a timer, urging me on as I clasp the phone in my hands. All I have to do now is press the button. A pang of nervousness causes me to sweat as as my breathing sharpens, unsettling my mind as I continue wanting to get this issue resolved. With an unsteady hand, I take the move to press call. Now it's up to her to answer. The phone rings slightly longer than I would have expected it. The phone rings slightly longer than I would expect it to if she felt like talking. It can only be assumed that she's at home. If her phone was anywhere near her, she would have answered it by now. The ringing stops abruptly, causing me to feel a sense of relief, which is soon washed away when someone other than Siri answers the phone, probably her father. Hello? Who might this be? On the other end of the line is Siri's father. I don't know how many parents who would answer their child's phone, but at least I can ask him about Siri. This is Karu. Ah, that's right. You were over here the other day, weren't you? I'm sorry about what happened. I don't usually get so worked up, but there's a lot of things going on right now. All I can do is apologize for making you witness it all. I can understand. How's Siri doing? She wasn't at school today. I thought you might be calling about that. You're a good lad, you know. I only met this guy once. He's calling me a good lad. On the other hand, getting on his good side isn't a bad thing in any shape or form. True. Siri's in her room at the moment. She hasn't been down in a while. That's concerning. She's locked herself in her room. I think it's because she was upset about the relationship between me and my wife. She won't be my wife for much longer. It's a complicated story. Did Siri ever mention it to you? Not in any detail. She just told me to forget about her mother after Saturday. I think you deserve to know. It'll help explain what Siri's feeling. I don't think I'm in a position to be this involved with her family issues. Really, it's odd to think you would be this willing to tell me. Listening now might make it easier to understand Siri's feelings. And if I want to help her, it's something I must know. Currently we're going through a divorce, but that should be more than apparent. After we moved to Japan, things started to get rocky between us. My wife decided to go on holiday back to Wales, though her real intention was to go back with her ex-husband. I eventually caught wind of it after one of my friends spotted them together. She stayed there, but at the same time filed for divorce. It's a complicated process when we're dealing with, It's a complicated process when you're dealing with two countries. I was told yesterday that she also filed for custody of Siri. What? Does that mean Siri would return to Wales? Yes. She's been upset since she doesn't want to leave. I think she has too much here that she would lose if she went back. It's not just me who'd she be away from. The reality is too hard to comprehend. A sheepish girl faced with another challenge in her life. Having to leave behind her father and her friend in order to go back to live with the mother she has no fondness for. I knew from the beginning that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Being there for Sirius still won't change the outcome, though I won't resist doing so. Right now she needs someone there for her, even if it'll end up hurting both of us. If you want to speak with Siri yourself, you're welcome to come over anytime. But I'm not sure how receptive she'll be about it. It feels wrong if I don't at least try to get my voice through to her. Even if she turns me away, I want her to know that I am here for her. To know that, despite the pain, the people most important to her will give back anything in return. That we care for her, that I care for her. Do you think I'll be able to be... Do you think I'll be able to come over today? I don't see why that would be a problem, though like I said, I'm not sure how Siri will react. Her reaction right now isn't really stable. All that matters to me is how she is feeling, which I know is far from good. I want to reach out to her. Alright, I'll be over shortly. Goodbye. In a rush, I hang up on Mr. Airwood without giving him a chance to respond. Wasting time isn't an option. I need to get there as soon as possible. Heading downstairs, my footsteps resonate throughout the house, causing my sister to give me a bewildered look. Luckily enough, she doesn't give me any issue and goes back to using her phone. Passing through the hall, the doors open before me, revealing my parents, home from their trip out. I don't have time to make conversation, so I slip past them at the doorway, both of them giving me the same bewildered look as my sister did in the process. Where are you off to, son? I'm going to a girl's house. Upon hearing that, my father contorts his face in surprise, finally leaving me with a proud smile as I set off to make my way down the street. All I should focus on is being there for Siri, a thought that drives me as I race my way to her house. Darkness fills the path towards Siri's house, spare the street lamps which guide my course towards it. A long and winding one, in a metaphorical sense, that is. This week has provided me with countless ups, but I guess it's time to face the downs. Knowing that Siri is hurting makes me feel bad myself, something which I told myself over and over. My emotional attachment to her is a big thought. Siri Street is short, so it's easy enough to find her house. It saves me the time of looking for it in the darkness of the looming night. The adrenaline within me rushes me further towards the door of her house. It's not necessary, but I feel that controlling these emotions would be a bad thing on top of the difficulty doing so. It's Siri's feelings I want to prioritize right now. Getting here as soon as possible helps me do that. My knuckles face the wood of the door repeatedly as I eagerly wait for an answer. I can see movement from inside, that of Siri's father as he soon comes to open the door. Good evening, Karu. I won't keep you stopped for long. Siri's room is upstairs and to the right. Keeping things brief, Mr. Irwood gives me the directions to Siri's room despite me already knowing them. I don't know how well it would sit with him if I told him that I've already been up there, so I just thank him anyway. Thank you. Sparing no time, I rush up the stairs as carefully as I can, wearing socks and trying to race up. Wearing socks and trying to race up there would be really regrettable if I were to slip. Though being cautious also seems like a bad idea as well. The only thing I should be caring about is Siri. Following the same path I took only days ago, Siri's bedroom door stands before me, the gateway to a lonely, downcast girl. Knocking on it gently, my heart continues to pound in my chest as I wait for a response. Nothing. Out of instinct, I grasp the doorknob, but despite my best effort, it won't budge. She must have locked it. I kind of expected it, but it doesn't change the fact that she's locked herself away from the world, even her own father. Slow movements raise my arm once again as I realize what I have to do. For all serious concerned, it could be just her father knocking on the door. Hopefully hearing me as well can show her how concerned we both are. I tap against the door one more time as I make a call out to her. Siri, it's me. A response. A small yet welcome one.
What are you doing here?
Her voice is filled with nervousness. Over the time that we've spent together, I've noticed that she's found it easier to speak to me as each day went on. Now, though, she sounds as if she sounds just as she did when I first met her. I came to talk to you. I want you to come back to school tomorrow, Siri. I abruptly managed to stop myself from adding, I've missed you, even though it's absolute truth. Spending time without her was different, even though it's all I knew before. I know you're not feeling good, but knowing you're like this, it makes me sad. I told you we were friends, right? I want to support you.
Sorry, I know. You're important to me.
You don't have to apologize. I just wanted to be there for you.
I'm not sure if I'll feel like going. It's complicated.
Only a thin piece of wood separates us both as we stand in silence, a wall between us, between our feelings. I'm not sure what I should do. I'll be waiting for you tomorrow, Siri, where we normally meet. Good night, Siri. On a whim, I turn myself away from her. It is a painful thing to do, but actions speak louder than words. Trying to break into her room wouldn't done us any good, but telling her I'll wait no matter what might let her hear my feelings in a different way. I'm not sure if she responded, though she doesn't come out after me. It's an odd thing for me to be so familiarized with her house after only knowing her for a week, but that thought doesn't stick with me on the trip down the stairs. So, out I go. Her father stands in the hallway, showing that he was waiting for me the entire time. I don't know. We'll have to see. They are plain and simple words, yet they hurt me so much. Having this uncertainty between us all makes me more bitter than anything. It's okay. Siri is usually quite stubborn. Would you be staying for dinner? I know a meal with a 30-year-old Welsh guy isn't exactly on everyone's bucket list, but it would be impolite for me not to offer. Thank you, but my parents had brought back something for the family just as I was leaving. I'm sure it'll be quite a ruckus when I get back. It's alright. I hope you enjoy your evening, Kaoru. Thank you for speaking to her. It's okay. It was something I wanted to do. I'll be off then. Goodbye. Siri's father sees me to the door Siri's father sees me off with a wave as I walk out of the Airwood household. Thinking about it now, his words don't have much sense Wait. Thinking about it now, his words don't make much sense to me. Describing Siri as stubborn is definitely a contrast to what I know her as. In fact, I would describe her as pretty compliant. Excuse me. I guess things are different when you're a parent. Maybe it's just how Siri acts towards me. At least, I hope it is. The morning sunlight blinds my eyes on the walk towards school, more importantly towards my typical rendezvous with pointless Siri. As I get closer and closer, I dote upon what Siri means to me, our relationship with her. It's a strange thing to think about, but as time goes on, things start to make more sense to me. As the usual corner of the street enters my vision, the shy, braided girl isn't there. It would be wrong for me to say I didn't expect this, but part of me looked forward to seeing her adorable aura shimmer in the sunlight. Looking at my watch, it's still a bit early. Even if it was late, I would still wait for her. Being late to school doesn't concern me now. Cars pass by me one after another as the neighborhood starts to get into motion. Everyone on their way to work or to drop their kids off at school. It's the usual sort of thing for a weekday. Having mine be different yesterday really showed me how much I enjoy the mornings before going to school. Wait, I butchered the hell out of that, I feel. Having mine be different yesterday really showed how much I enjoyed the mornings before going to school to be able to see her. Every day of my life before had been absent of her. Excuse me. But meeting her really showed me how much of a wonderful person she really is. It's a shame it took a while for her to be able to show it to someone. The clock continues to circle around and around my watch, similar to the thought in my mind, constantly moving but never really going anywhere. 7:35 soon passes without any sign of Siri. When agreeing to meet with her, I would have probably embraced the experience of walking down the road around this time to see her waiting for me with a mid-smile on her face. One which I can only assume would quickly turn into a fluster as she would spot me approaching. None of that has happened though. Or will happen. I can't imagine Siri being that happy to see me. Anxiety grows within me, flowering from one of the most painful places from the Anxiety grows within me, flowering from one of the most painful places for it to be embedded its thorns, my heart. It's been 5 minutes now since the usual time we agreed to meet. Not particularly late by any standard, that is, any standard other than Siri's. Every time we've agreed to meet somewhere, despite only happening on a few occasions, Siri was always early or on time, more so than prior. Maybe my words didn't reach her after all. Glancing up at my watch one last time, within my vision, I see a figure. Despite the morning sunlight hindering my view, it's clear to me that a girl is walking down the street towards me. As she approaches, I can make out her hair, neatly braided, swaying in the light autumn breeze. Her attire, all too familiar, consists of a tan sweater which embellishes her figure. The heart insignia on her chest is quickly covered by her arms as she adjusts the red ribbon beneath her neck, blushing slightly as she looks towards me. It's Siri. Excuse me. The sight brings a small smile to my face. It usually would, but this time means a lot more to me than any other ever would be. A lot more to me than any of those ever could. I managed to reach out to her. She came. Her expression, however, doesn't match mine. She still carries a troubled expression as she advances further down the street. It's one thing for sure. There's still a lot of work to do before we can make things right. It's if that's even the right word. All the issues, all the problems that caused the situation are still here. Siri is still upset.
Good morning.
Good morning, Siri. Part of me wants to ask how she's feeling, in spite of knowing the answer. I'm fine, she'll say. That is it. Fine. Fine is a synonym for not good. A quick answer to get people off your case. Siri knows how concerned I am, but prying into her feelings now would not benefit either of us. Today I want her to feel normal, to experience a day of school like we usually would. Upsetting her by getting into the subject of her parents would make my efforts all for naught. Instead, I opt to usher her along with me to begin our day of school. I think we should get going. We're going to be late otherwise.
Okay.
I expect her to apologize for being late, but it doesn't really matter to me. Siri and I begin our slow walk to school despite having the clock working against us, but we're not in any rush. Dust shimmers in the air sporadically throughout the classroom, giving the day a sense of warmth as the autumn sunlight shines through the windows. All too much of a contrast with the bitter cold of the morning, leaving me a feeling of unease as the issues with Siri still linger around my mind. Having left her not too long ago to get to class, we separated on a sour note, neither of us really saying anything, but our feelings even so similar. Ones of sadness, sorrow, and general awkwardness. Getting her to come to school was one thing, but for her to open up to me again will be a completely different challenge. If I'm going to make this day work one way or another, I'll have to force her to talk to me, no matter how inconsiderate that sounds. Moving my body backwards, I stretch to elevate the pain of my shoulders. Today is going to be long, but I've gotten through lessons before. Just thinking about Siri. Thing is, there's a lot more to think about now, including my feelings. The chimes of the school bell jolt me up from the slumped position of my chair. It's lunchtime, so getting outside as soon as possible is a priority. I want to meet Siri outside of her class for once. Springing up, I grab my bag and swiftly push my items into a disordered manner. There are things I have no time to be concerned about. I managed to be the one of the first people out of class, but it's expected that those who sit near the front will always have the upper hand. Siri's class isn't much of a distance away. It seems that their class is still inside. Everyone in our year group is on the same corridor, so it's unsurprising to find myself joining the usual crowd to wait outside the other classes for their friends to come out. One by one, people flock out of the classroom. The entire event is quite a scene, as it already has been about 5 minutes since the lunch bell rang. Just how important was her lesson? In time, the sight of Siri greets my eyes once again. She still holds the same expressionless appearance she had this morning. It hurts to see. Hey Siri, shall we get our lunch together?
Sorry, I need to catch up with some work. I'm going to copy a friend.
As soon as I opened my mouth, Siri seemed to go into a state of shock. Her words sound untruthful, as if she forced the first excuse she could think of. As depressing as it is, the reality is that I'm the only person she speaks to in this school. She wouldn't have the audacity to copy out someone within her class. If she's not ready to speak, that's fine. The entire action itself going back on what I previously decided upon earlier. Forcing her to speak with me would probably send her into another state of shock. I'll let her go for now. Alright, Siri. I turn around, leaving Siri behind me as I join the students from her class heading towards the cafeteria. Whether Siri wanted me to object or not, I'm not unsure. However, she won't be able to walk away from me this easily. Letting our friendship dissipate like this isn't something I want to allow. I find myself sitting in the cafeteria, clutching a sandwich in my hand. A little earlier, the guy sitting in front of me got into a fight with one of the younger students who were the last beef sandwich. I'm not really sure why these things are so popular. Enjoying your sandwich? You better be. I was wounded pretty bad back there. He didn't even touch you. Can't you just let me pretend for a minute? School is pretty boring, man. To be honest, he is right. Having to sit here without Siri is quite agonizing. A distressful experience, putting my entire state of mind into a flurry. Even though yesterday I sat... Oh, shit. Even though yesterday I sat alone in class, being here with this guy isn't much better at all. Are you listening, mate? Sorry, can you repeat yourself? I was saying, what if they introduced lamb to the school sandwiches? There's plenty of sheep in Wales, aren't there? I don't know, I've never been. I'm not even Welsh. Neither have I, man. It's a thought, you know. It seems this guy is pretty invested in sandwiches. The bell rings to signal the end of lunch, causing me to feel more depressed as I now have to face afternoon lessons. While listening to the mundane talk of my classmate, I decided to try again with Siri. The idea is to walk her home. Pretty bold in itself, but I know for a fact she's not going to complain. Dragging her out of my hand is one option. Dragging her out with my hand is one option, although the action seems really dodgy and disrespectful to her. Taco! In a way, it might show her how much effort I put into being there to support her. What could go wrong? My classroom is filled with the uniform aura of apathy as it slowly drags on towards the final few minutes. Thinking back on my idea from earlier, I need to find a way to be able to get out before Siri. It can't be guaranteed that her class will get out late again, so I really don't want to miss her. Raising my hand, I eagerly await the teacher to notice. Asking to be excused to the restroom is undoubtedly the best way to be the first one out of class. There are about 5 minutes until lesson ends, so there won't really be a problem. Yes, Karu? Excuse me, miss, may I be excused to the restroom for a restroom break? Go ahead, Karu. It seems the teacher herself is quite apathetic towards her own lesson, sending me off in a tired and indifferent manner. I leave the classroom behind me, some classes looking shocked after realizing I leave the classroom behind me, some classmates looking shocked after realizing my plan to get out of class before them. Turning down the corridor, I slowly look towards Siri's classroom. This time she's not getting away so easily. The bell rings to officially end everyone's school day. I've been waiting here for a few minutes, so in order to use up some time, I bought myself a drink. As people begin to walk down the corridor, I toss my can into the bin and continue to wait for Siri's class to come through the doors. Surprisingly, this time Siri is one of the first people to get out of her class. Perhaps she wanted to prevent a repetition of the events at lunch, getting out early as she could to avoid me. Unfortunately for her, though, as soon as the chance arises, I grab her by the hand and make my way down the corridor with her in a quick pace. Her trailing behind me with an extraordinary sense of embarrassment, one which breaks new boundaries.
What are you doing?
I'm walking you home.
What?
Confused, Siri continues to stumble over her words as I take her with me down the corridor. Despite her being able to let go of my hand, she shows no restraint as she allows herself to be taken with me. As we move, I notice a few stares and smiles from various people from our year group. Even sounds of lighthearted laughter can be heard. Different how Siri was treated before, I can only assume that they find the event funny in a friendly manner.
Where are we going?
Your house. I told you I'm walking you home, didn't I? Saying that, both of us are still almost running as we pace towards the school's exit. Not a speed definable as walking, but I'm still taking her back to her house. Students move swiftly out of our way as we get outside and through the school gates onto the road, with the pair of us receiving the same odd looks and giggles as we finally break from the school ground. I let up my grip on Siri's hand since the entire action still is embarrassing, more so to the fact of running out of school had caused us both to sweat lightly. I can trust Siri not to run off now, so we can both slow down into a brisk walk as I take her on the journey back to our house. So did you manage to catch up on your work?
What are you talking about? Oh, that was...
A flustered Siri walks behind me as she tries her best to let out her words. The sight caused me to laugh, knowing that I've seen through her lie. It's the sort of expression that I have longed for. You're pretty cute. Saying that, Siri ramps up her levels of befuddlement, causing me to lose myself in her adorable trance. I only told her the truth.
What? You really think so?
Really? Her face is ablaze with emotion as she looks towards me with a hard blush, fiddling with her hair as it entwines around her fingers.
Thank you.
She meekly clasps her right arm as we continue to walk down the road in a state of close to silence, neither of us deciding to continue the conversation. The real fact is that Siri still isn't feeling good inside. Trying to force her into a state of happiness would make things worse. I'm fine with being able to come this far with her, walking down a street lit by the afternoon sun. This is something I've always wanted to do with Siri. Being with her, it brings my feelings for her into question. Our steps are in sync as the two of us walk side by side down the street, which is now quite familiar to me. Accompanying Siri on the way home may have seemed like a brash thing to do. The idea itself established rather hastily. However, being here with her after spending yesterday in a state of worry gives me a sense of relief. The issue that caused this is still present, however, but showing Siri that she doesn't have to go through this alone is enough of a reason for my actions. We find ourselves idling in front of her house, neither of us really wanting to start any traditional words of farewell. Siri takes the lead, despite being rather reserved throughout the day.
Thank you. I'm sorry about earlier. I just needed some time alone to think. It's been hard recently.
It's alright, Siri. Siri is still bearing the weight of the uncertainty as she faces the chance of having to leave everything and everyone she's known behind to move away. And from what her father had told me, the distance between her and what she cherishes would be quite extraordinary. Remember, Siri, you have people who are there for you. Even if it's two people she's likely to leave behind.
I know. You've been a great friend to me. That's why it's hard.
With Siri saying that, the door to her house opens wide despite neither of us reaching out for the handle. Standing there before us is Siri's father, sporting a smile which I can only describe as uneasy. Both of us know the situation Siri is in, and both of us are trying our hardest to deal with it. I thought I heard someone speaking outside. Come in, Carl. You're more than welcome to stay for dinner. Mr. Airwood wastes no time trying to get me inside the house. All I can assume is that he has something he wants to discuss with me. I can do more than guess what it is he wants to talk about. The startled response coming straight from her. Siri's still somehow shocked at her father's invitation idles behind me as I step forward into her house. Are you coming inside, Siri?
Yes?
It's strange that a man who has to ask his own daughter is she going to enter their own house, but it's not something I would expect happening with Siri. Her actions are quite adorable. Dispelling the train of thought, I divert my attention back to reality, knowing that there is still a large uncertainty that hangs over us. Excuse me. As Mr. Airwood and I walk further through the hall, Siri stands behind and speaks out to us.
Need to put some things away upstairs. I'll come back down in a minute.
Rushing off upstairs quickly, Siri leaves her father and I alone in the hallway. Well, the two of us are still... Wait. Well, the two of us can still go through to the dining room. You want a beer? I know you're below the Japanese drinking age, but the laws are different in my house. Yeah, sure. Why not? Willingly accepting the offer, the two of us walk into the dining room, both of us knowing what's on the other's mind. Sitting down, both of us are reluctant to start the conversation. Siri could come down at any minute. It wouldn't be pretty for her to hear us talking about her behind her back. Still, the thought is something I'll have to neglect. Avoiding this conversation isn't what I want to do. So, has she been any better? She's still pretty upset. His voice has a certain firmness that seems unfitting for the discussion, as if the fact that Siri's in an emotional distress doesn't concern him. I think she likes you, you know. The thought of having to leave you doesn't sit well with her. What? What? Repeating my thoughts aloud, I blankly stare at Mr. Airwood, who sits in front of me with a smile. Did he just suggest Siri likes me in a way that he is suggesting? I mean that she's upset that she'd have to leave you. No, that part, the part before that. Oh, I'm just suggesting that Siri has a crush on you. You know, there's times in a girl's life where they find someone they like. That's the way it is for everyone. Is this guy really telling me that his daughter fancies me? Hearing it is quite a shock, especially from him, her own father. Thoughts rush through my head as I think over the relationship with Siri. Siri's action towards me I've never been quite confident. She's always seemed embarrassed or shy, but that's just how I thought she was normally. To think that she likes me is a strange thought, yet inside I can't deny the feelings of happiness, the feeling of wanting to be with her. You're a good kid. I've always thought that good kids deserve good news. Diverting my attention back to Mr. Airwood, he continues to talk with a smile on his face. I had some talks with my solicitor, legal stuff, solicitor meaning lawyer. He told me that I'm likely to win the custody of Siri. My wife isn't known to have the best mental health record, so don't feel too down, kid. Siri's going to stay? A wave of relief washes over me, knowing that Siri doesn't have to face her burdens. It's a pleasing thought. Even more so that I know that Siri... dear God. Even more so that I know how Siri feels about me. I can't even describe what either of us would be feeling if we were separated. Have you told her yet? Not yet. I wanted to wait until the time was right. What does he mean? I think that telling her would be one of the first things he'd do. For days, Siri has been awash... Dear God. For days, Siri has been awash with agony, finding herself disillusioned in reality as she faces having her life torn apart by an uncontrollable force. It's odd. Can I ask you for a favor? What? Take my daughter on a date. What? It seems as if what is the only thing I can get around this... Wait. Is the only thing I can get out around this guy. To be so full of surprises. What is even more surprising is Siri is still taking her time with putting her stuff away. Me and her father have been talking about her for quite a while. Her father has just asked me to go on a date with her, yet she's conventionally upstairs, completely unaware of what's going on. Why are you so adamant about me and Siri? I reveal my thoughts to him. In no way do I know in no way do I not want to go out with Siri. It's just strange that her father is pushing us together. First he tells me she likes me, and now he's trying to get me to take her out. Aren't fathers supposed to be reluctant to let a guy date their daughter? Especially when they're only known each other for less than 2 weeks? It's just, Siri's never had many friends. To know that she managed to make one which she even likes, I don't want her to miss the opportunity. And hey, you're not a bad kid. I have no objections to you dating her. Hearing these words, they're strange, thoughts which were never foreign, but a reality which certainly is new to me. I myself can't deny the feelings I have held for Siri, even if they were abstract for most of the time. Now, present with this, I'm sure of what those feelings were. Love. The sound of footsteps resonate from the hallway, giving me and Mr. Airwood a clear sign to change the direction of our conversation. So, Karu, how's school? It's been great.
I'm back.
Siri, sit down. I'll get dinner prepared for us. Walking out of the room, Mr. Airwood leaves me with Siri, the girl which drew out my inner feelings. Seeing her now, sitting before me with a slight frown on her, sitting before me with a slight frown as she looks down towards the table, fiddling with her braids. It makes my heart race. Mr. Edward soon comes back into the room carrying plates topped with dinner. Siri and I still sit in silence, each of us taking the occasion glances toward each other without being directly bothered by it. As Siri's father places a place in front of me, the smell itself is soon enough to signal the smell itself is soon enough to signal the quality of it. Last time his dinner was actually quite enjoyable, like Siri said. Smells nice.
I knew you'd like his cooking.
Breaking the wall between us, Siri finally speaks up. Her face, though, is still masked by sadness, possibly due to the events of what had happened the first time I tried her father's cooking. Unbeknownst to her, though, it seems things are going to work out in the end. Mr. Edward sits at his seat, and the three of us tuck into our meals, in between conversation at least. So how did you two meet anyway? I don't think you ever told me, Siri. Siri's face is lit by embarrassment, both of us recalling the events of that day. It's funny now to think that a changed event would bring us so close to each other. I glance at Siri, signaling to her that she can explain everything to her father. It's a cruel thing to do considering her timidity, though watching her explain it is going to be cute.
Well, I dropped my bag on the way to school. My library card was left behind, and he gave it back to me.
Really? That's not a way to meet someone. Mr. Arrow's laughs as Siri's face increasingly reddens. There are, of course, more details to it than that. If if I hadn't decided to walk off to her in the cafeteria, then none of this would have happened. Suri's face still seems sorrowful, making her remember how we met, but she still thinks we might be leaving each other. Why hasn't he told her yet? The ongoing stream of time flows toward the three of us having finished our meals, and the clock itself reflecting how long I have been staying actually. I didn't even really tell my family where I'd be, so they're probably going to be either angry or inquisitive. I doubt any of them would actually be worried about where I am. I think it's getting a bit late. Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep you here for too long. It's been good to speak to you, Karu. I think Siri should walk you to the door. I'll say my goodbyes here. Okay, thanks for the meal, Mr. Arrowwood. My pleasure. Siri, as startled as ever, trails after me as I walk out into the hallway of Mr. Arrowwood's residence towards their front door. Our eyes locked, Siri still flared up with embarrassment, and myself filled with a newfound sense of direction. Siri, would you like to go somewhere with me tomorrow? After school, that is.
You want to go somewhere?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Okay, sure.
Siri still seems rather embarrassed. Siri still seems rather embarrassed. It was only days ago that she herself invited me to town. Despite not calling it a date, I still find myself attaching the connotation to this upcoming trip with her. I don't plan on missing any opportunities with it. Anyway, I think I should get going. I'll see you at school tomorrow, Siri. I try to make a swift exit despite wanting to spend as much time with her as I can. Sitting here with my heart pounding in my chest is sending my mind into a frenzy.
See you tomorrow.
Stepping outside, I turn my back to Siri and give her a smile. One which, thankfully, she returns. Knowing that there's a future for us somewhere, it makes me feel content. Siri slowly shuts the door behind me as if trying to savor our last time together. Things for us have been quick, sure, but tomorrow I'm planning on changing the course of things for both of us. To finally be here for Siri, even if she's no longer constrained by the burden of depression, I'm looking forward to it, but it's going to be hard to wait. Sounds of birds chirping wake me up earlier than I expected to. My new alarm clock is quite good in that case, but I find that I want to wake up as early as possible. It gives me time to get myself ready for another day, with today in particular being of enough importance for me one enough importance for me to want to experience it. I probably butchered the hell out of that. Today, a day which would have otherwise been a plain and generic day, is the day I can take Siri out on a date. Even though I've never called it that, that's what it seems like. Her father even told me to take her out on one, so in a way, I feel it is. More importantly, this is the day I tell Siri my feelings. The ones which I had for a while, all without realizing them. Now though, whenever I think about her, my heart races, energized by my passion, my desire to be with her. It's a strange feeling, one which I've never had before, but I embrace it. After taking my time to freshen myself up, which involves the usual morning routine of a shower and teeth cleaning, I make my way downstairs to have my breakfast. Excuse me. So far, these are things I normally would do. They're unlikely to change as well. However, the only noticeable difference today is the keen smile I keep on my face as I continue to feel a rush of emotion. In the dining room, as you expect, my family is sat around the table. Well, my mother and my father, at least. Unsurprisingly, my sister is still either in bed or slowly waking up. Joining my parents at the table, I reflect on the situation Siri had found herself in. She may not be able to experience having both parents with her, but now she can finally stop worrying about leaving one for the other, especially when she doesn't even like her mother. I still don't know whether her father told her yet, though I should be able to tell when I see her, a sight I look forward to. What are you so happy about, son? Isn't he allowed to be happy? Why do you have to question him? I'm not questioning a woman. I'm just asking him why he's so cheerful. But that is questioning me. Taco! Still, I feel as I should answer him. I don't mind telling him why I'm happy, just as long as I don't have to be specific about it. I'm going out later. Instead of intensely berating me with more information, my father refrains and provides me with a quick stare before giving me a small smile. He knows. Alright, son. Strange. Is it because I told him I was going to Siri's house the other day? I don't know. That would give him a good reason not to ask me whether I was going out with a girl, if he already assumed that I would be. Neither of us continued speaking, giving the opportunity for my sister to rather abruptly sit down beside me. As expected, it looks as if she had a bad day already. Her, whatever that word is all too apparent as it contrasts with with my upbeat mood. She really doesn't do well in the mornings. I can understand that. What time is it? Looking on my watch, I realize it's about time I left. Even though my sister goes to the same school, I find myself leaving earlier than her most days. Of course, I had even more of a reason to doing so recently. It's almost 20 past 5. Shouldn't you be leaving then? Yeah, I should be. Getting up, I grab my bag and head towards the door. My sister, still in her typical monotonous voice, calls out to me one last time. Tell that girl you're meeting I said hi. How does she know about Siri? Still, I don't have time to question her. She does go on the same school as me, so it's more than likely that she's seen me hanging around with her. It's something I haven't thought about until now. I'll see you later. Ignoring her request, I make my own way out the door. Despite being a bit late leaving, I should still get there on time. It's the emotional drive that's pushing me forward. My pounding heart, my anxiety, the light sweat on my brow as the morning sunlight meets my face, all of these symptoms for my longing for Siri, my love for her. I couldn't see her sooner. The late September sunlight shines down upon me as I stroll down the street with passion, but into each step. In autumn, though, to me it still feels like summer. The frivolous attitude people can have towards life really kicks in at the last time of the year. At least for students like us, anyway. Since we follow a Western curriculum, the school year had only started a few weeks ago. Nobody is really... for some reason I'm out of breath. Nobody is really taking it seriously. To think that I'd experience this after returning... I'd experience this after returning from summer break, being able to walk with a slight pang of nervousness as I go to meet the girl that I've grown to love. With all my heart beating into a lively rhythm as I get closer and closer to the point in which we'll meet. The point where we first met. As I continue to walk, the continued walk brings Siri into my sight, causing my heart to speed up as I watch her diligently play with her clothes as if trying to make herself appear presentable. One thing which is made apparent is the distinct change in her style. Her hair, rather than being in a cute done in a cute braided manner I've come used to seeing, now flows towards the floor. each strand glowing in the morning sun. The notable pair of glasses she wears seems to be missing as well. It's a striking contrast to how she normally looks, but it's not as if I haven't seen her like this before. The walk we had into her bedroom is all too memorable. As I approach her, Siri looks towards me with a smile, rather than expressing surprise at my appearance. Something about her seems different, disregarding the obvious change in the image.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You look nice, Siri. I'm struggling with getting the words through my mouth as Siri stands right before me. It wasn't like this yesterday, but now that I know these feelings thoroughly, seeing her overwhelms me.
Thank you. I wanted to try something different.
Ending her sentence with a beam of happiness, Siri looks towards me as she holds one arm with the other. It's almost as if she's nervous as well, both of us sharing the same feelings. Looking over her again, I feel as if this look suits her as much as her braids did. Admittedly, she did look cuter before, but today she just seems a little more memorizing. Maybe it's because of the affection I carry for her, but I know seeing her like this is something I will enjoy. That's if she keeps the look. One thing is on my mind though. How are you supposed to see without your glasses? Siri blushes, looking down at the floor in embarrassment.
I wear them in school. It's just that I'm a little short-sighted is all. I can see fine. That's all that matters.
Her final line sends a flood of emotion through my mind, causing me to feel flustered, an expression which connects the two of us. Siri looks at me timidly, though I can feel something in her eyes. Is this the difference? Did he tell her?
Shall we get going then?
Yeah, let's go. The two of us walk side by side, something which we would usually be doing. Now, however, I feel as if that bridge between us had gotten shorter and shorter. The days when Siri was away, feeling sad, are now behind us. Her newfound happiness seems to give me enough of an indication that she knows that she no longer needs to feel troubled. That she has a future here. Today I plan on crossing that bridge to her heart. The final minutes of class soon approach, my heartbeat acting as a metronome as time continues forward, soon to face the lunch bell. I haven't been able to think of anything but Siri all day. After seeing the cute wave she gave me after we split up to get to our respective classes, I've been dying to see her again. Upon hearing the chimes to mark the start of lunch, I stand up quickly enough to gain the attention of several classmates around me. I don't have time to be concerned about it though. The more time I spend with her, the more time I spend here, the less time I spend with Siri. Walking outside of the door, I expect to see her cute face waiting for me, as she usually does. However, in the corridor stands only the usual crowds of students waiting for their friends. Siri isn't one of them. Instinct tells me to check her classroom, taking me down the corridor towards her room. I could have sworn that some of the people back there were in her class, though.
There you are. I thought I had missed you.
Siri approaches from behind, startling me slightly, as I had assumed she would have been in her classroom rather than trailing after me. Where were you?
Sorry. I was in a call with my father. Shall we head to the cafeteria?
Weirdly, Siri seems even happier than she was this morning. It's strange. I would have assumed that Mr. Elwood had told her earlier, given how energetic she seemed when compared to yesterday. However, it seems like I'm facing Siri with... However, now it seems like I'm facing Siri filled with a newfound spirit. Just what did he tell her during that call? Siri and I had turned down the corridor to begin our time together at lunch. She still carries a beam of happiness across her face. It's a sight, though, I'm used to seeing her smiling timidly with a brush. If he did tell her, I would have assumed she would have told me. Or maybe not. Siri doesn't even know that I'm aware of the custody issue, so maybe that's why she hasn't said anything. Either way, I'm glad that Siri's finally free of worry and can be happy again. The only issue now is to get closer to her. Close enough for her to hear my feelings. As we enter the cafeteria, it's hard for me to act calm. My mind continues to spin whenever I look in her direction. It shouldn't have taken this long to get to the cafeteria, but my sense of time is flowing even more slowly. It's hard to act calm around her now that my feelings are in control. And given that there is no issue stopping our hearts from binding, it's just a matter of time before I let them out. Going by her father's words, she must be feeling something too. She must be forcing herself to act with passion, as if to make an impression. It's not really needed, but it's cute to see her do so. If her father can be trusted, then us coming together is inevitable. Eventually, school ends on a rather usual note. If it wasn't for my outing with Siri, I would have been feeling pretty apathetic at this point. During lunch, neither of us really spoke to each other, despite Siri's prior confidence. I think inside, both of us know that getting our feelings out is going to be a difficult task. Hopefully, this date can provide that groundwork for us to forge our relationship. The school bell rings, pumping up the speed of my heart. I now face something I wanted for a while, something I've longed for. Hopefully I can get it done effectively. Hopefully I can bring us together. Outside, Siri stands waiting for me as usual with a slight blush on her face. She knows as much as I do that we're going to embark on a journey that will change us. It's however gives in the first, I'm probably butchering the hell out of this, in first that'll truly set things off. Dear God, I butchered the hell out of that.
Get going?
Yeah. I never told her where I wanted to take her. All I said is, would you like to go somewhere with me? Hindsight tells me that choosing something for us to do just to set an atmosphere would be a good idea. However, I think neither of us really care that much. We just want to spend time together. Starting our slow pace through the corridor, I feel something grasp my hand. Did she really?
Sorry. I got used to you taking me places like that.
Oh. Nervousness strangles my voice. I can't get anything out. Part of me wants just to take hold of her hand. Part of me wants just to tell her right now, I love you. Though something is stopping me from doing it. Something stopping me from moving forward. We arrive in the center of town together after spending a long period of the journey passively giving each other the occasional glance. An awkward but somehow enjoyable atmosphere, one that has always been between us. There's never been a moment where I haven't enjoyed spending time with her. Just now, there's a lot of attention on that very aura that crosses between us and our hearts. The late afternoon sun provides a canopy of tranquility, the two of us remaining silent as we look towards one another. I'd love to know what she's thinking right now. It can't be any different from what's going on through my mind. Siri is the one to break the silence.
We're here. What should we do?
Although I was one to invite her out here on the advice of her father gave, I still have no idea what I should do with her. Anything that involves spending time with her, I'm bound to find pleasurable. Is there anything you wanted to do? I think I just managed to control the uneasiness in my voice.
I just want to spend time with you.
Both of us have come to the same conclusion. We really don't care what it is we do, as long as we do it together. Siri blushes at her own statement, causing me to feel a sense of warmth inside. The feeling is usually described as having butterflies in the stomach. It must be going pretty crazy then. Each second we spend together causes me to adore her more, a deep sense of affection flowing from the seed she had placed in my heart. Okay, should we go for a walk? Siri nods her head, looking at me with a sense of emotion. Her eyes are fixed on me, though I can't deny mine being fixed on her. We start walking again, making our way further into town. Siri's golden hair flows down her back, ruffled around periodically by a slight breeze passing. It makes her all more attractive. Our unplanned stroll takes us to a part of the town famed by students as the date spot. Numerous couples can be seen enjoying the view of the city and instances of people falling in love.
I want to tell you something.
Siri walks ahead of me, quickly turning back to face me with her reddened face. Instead of directing her eyes away, as she normally would, she locks them with mine.
I wanted to thank you for being there for me. Recently, I've been going through a lot.
Words flow from Siri's mouth, a river of emotion with the source deep within her heart. I have a feeling as to what she's going to tell me, though I appreciate being able to hear each and every word. The experience I knew she had gone through told from her perspective in her own very words.
I knew things weren't going well with my parents. They were going through a divorce.
I nod in response to her words. I don't want to interrupt her.
My mother wanted to take me away. It hurt me. I thought I'd have to leave my father. I thought I'd have to leave you. I didn't want to do that. And now, I'm happy. I was told I was going to stay with my father. I'm happy because I finally get to tell you. I love you!
Siri once again lifts her eyes, looking towards me with a sense of embarrassment on her face, her feelings released from her heart. Inside, it makes me happy. One of us was bound to let our feelings known to each other at some point today. Now that it's finally happening, part of me feels content, overwhelmed with emotion of love. Both mine own and Siri's.
It's been like that for a while. You gave me the opportunity to speak to someone, to feel this way. That's why I had to tell you.
Siri stands still, almost frozen as she breathes heavily. I watch her tremble slightly as she continues looking in my direction, playing with the end of her hair as it rests down her side. Really, dude? A small gust causes her skirt to flap around, quickly pushed down by her left hand. Now that she reached out to me, I feel as if it's time to do the same, to tell her how I feel. I'm happy, Siri. Because, well, I love you too.
Huh?
Siri looks up in surprise. Her face, still red, shines in the afternoon sun from where she had been sweating from nervousness. After spending time with you, I realized what it was I was looking for. I was able to find something in those moments. The moments I've enjoyed. That's why, Siri, I want to thank you. Both of us here together have managed to become different people. Before, Siri was a timid girl. Her feelings, her thoughts, locked inside because of bad experiences. Being bullied, her parents going through a divorce, all of it was painful for her. To think that she managed to find something in me, it's a wonderful feeling. On the other hand, before I met her, I was just the new transfer. Nobody really showed much interest in me. Meeting her gave me a chance to connect with someone, to change my outlook on life. That's why I'm glad I met her.
I'm so happy. I can't believe it.
Don't worry, you're not dreaming. Siri smiles at me, a smile more than one of simple gratitude. It's one filled with love.
I'm glad our feelings are mutual.
Me too. I was going to confess to you today, but you beat me to the punch. Over the past 2 weeks, we've managed to form something together. It's a short amount of time when looking back, but I don't think I'll ever forget the events which had brought us together. From meeting her by chance on the street to being able to fall in love, it's a cliche, but it's one which I cherish. Both of us are happy that we are able to make that connection. Now it's time for us to move forward, to forge a relationship. The events that troubled us are now in the past. What we have to do now is clear. We have to be there for each other, an easy task considering how much we enjoy spending time together. In the end, we are glad that we are able to we were able to hear one another. The sounds of love, the girl I love. Siri.
Thank you.
And that is it. I've said this to Sans on Twitter, but by the way, for those of you that are not following her on Twitter, please do. I'll leave a link for it down below. Show her all the love and support you can, especially with the recent visual novel she just dropped. She just recently dropped another one. I'll be playing it here on the channel very soon. But I told her this on Twitter. The art style, the voice acting for Siri, all Sans, once again, if you see this, very well done. So very, very, very much round of applause on that one. I don't think there's anything after the credits.
A few minutes later.
Alright guys, there's nothing after the credits, so that is it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this Let's Play series of Sounds of Her Love. Like I said, the creator behind this visual novel game, Sans, she just recently dropped another visual novel that actually has a guest appearance in it by Siri, of all things. She just recently dropped it. It's on Steam, and I do plan on playing that here in the near future on this channel. So hopefully you guys look forward to that. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this Let's Play series, like I said. Please remember that if you did, to leave a like and let me know in the comments down below. Plus, if there are any other visual novel games you might like to see me play, or any other games in general, please let me know in the comments down below. Please remember to leave a like. Any interaction with the channel in general, whether it be this video or any other, does help out the channel greatly, and it's always very greatly appreciated. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Please remember that up until the end of May, like I said at the beginning of the video, we are trying to raise money for St. Jude. I do understand with the virus going around and people being laid off because of it, that some people are strapped for cash, but if you do have any money you can donate between now and the end of May to help out St. Jude. There will be a link in the description of all my videos up until that point that will lead you to the donation page. Just please click on the link down below in the description. It'll send you to the donation page, like I said. And please donate what you can, whether it be $1, $5, every cent counts, and help us try and hit our $150 goal as we try and raise money for some money for St. Jude, as they try and help kids and their parents through this crisis and all others that these kids are facing. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time, as always, and forever.